what happened when your ship got hit.
Well, when my ship got hit, the ship just started swirling around, and I knew we got hit. And so then I reached over behind me, the little latches, and the door was very heavy and it dropped down. And I had a harness with my chute hooked right next to me, and I pushed myself out. And when I dropped down, instead of hooking the other side, I pulled it, and it kind of went down sideways. And it seemed like there were clouds down below, and it just seemed forever before I reached the clouds. When I did, it was April, and it was all green, and animals, the cows down there, and I landed. And apparently some people that would shoot at airplanes never had a plane. They never saw a plane that was shot down, and I was the first plane that they ever saw that when they were shooting, and I came down on my chute. So they gave me a glass of schnapps to drink.
How high do you think you guys were when you were hit? What altitude?
Probably 25,000.
So
and or maybe 30, I don't know.
So that was quite a drop to the ground.
Yeah, and then when I landed, then they sent me to a German hospital in Paris. Then I was in Paris. Then they put us on a train till we got to Frankfurt. Frankfurt's where they interrogate all airmen. Well, they try to tell us that we're spies and everything. And they put us in a little room with just a bed in it. And we had to stay in there. And when they let us go from that, then they would send us to prison camps. And so an officer would come in, and we'd have to send it. You have to send attention to a German officer. And he would say, well, we don't know if you're a spy or not, you know. So then after 3 days, they let me go. And then from then on, we went on boxcars. They took our belts off, and they took our shoes off. So if something happened, we'd have a hell of a time running with those on. And so every time we moved, they would do that. We were in so my first cap was way up near Lithuania. It was the first Starlight, I think it was Starlight 13B. And then as the Russians got close, we kept moving it closer to the Baltic Sea. And finally, when we got there, they put us in a great grain ship. We had a hell of a place to sit. It was just, and we got down near Denmark, and but the first portion, we spent a good, about a year at that one camp, and the rest were just months. And eventually, when we ended up in Bavaria at this one place, and there wasn't any Americans and there wasn't any Germans there. But the Russians were there, and they were raping women. So they would grab us to stay in the place. When we were in there, we noticed they had a lot of had American prisoner of war food that they were keeping themselves, but we didn't care. Right. And that's the only reason they grabbed it, is so that the Russians couldn't come in. When the Russians would knock on the door, then we would stand out.